Okay.
So what are we going for?
Let's start off. Tell me who you are, where we're at, you know, and what's going on. Yeah.
My name's Brian Dosher. I've gone under Doshworld. I looked for a nickname for a long time, and people just started calling me Dosher from the last name. And then I found that the more that we all know our own space and time, and when we tap into that, we all have our own world, you know. So Doshworld just, I mean, a lot of people saw it, and that's definitely just the way that I roam the earth. So that became the name. We're here in Spokane, Washington. I grew up an hour north of here in North Idaho, so it's a little bit of home country for me as far as weather conditions and atmosphere and all that. But this Peace of Mind Studios, my brother actually works here. Justin is the founder of the shop, and it's an amazing space. It's actually, the whole studio is an old house, so it's got that already like comfortable house feel to it. Got a living room, a couple of bathrooms, a kitchen. The studio's upstairs in the sunroom. It's got a nice view of the park and Division, which is also 95 north. I should know that, but I'm pretty sure. So, no, it's a dynamite spot. It definitely was a good setup for throwing down and doing the competition.
Awesome.
I've been working on the torch for 13 years, somewhere around there. It was back in like the 90s, 98 or something like that. And it's amazing, you know, a lot's changed in the industry. Back when I was making pipes, it was completely underground. Even the fact that I was using my name on my pieces was like a lot of people had a code name or whatever, you know, so they could like put their art out there. But I mean, it was a kind of a crazy thing too. Like I dropped out of college and it was successful, you know, but I'm hanging back with my parents or talking to mom's friends and stuff, and they ask, what do you do? You know, and you'll tell them like, oh, I'm a lamp worker, and they'll, ooh, that's really exciting, you know, you work with flame, and I'd even build that up, I'd roll with that energy, you know, and like, yeah, you know, I'm a self-employed artist, I'm actually making money for myself doing what I'm doing, you know, and it's just like, wow, how do you do that, how'd you get into it, you know, all these, but then, you know, I dropped the bomb and just like, you know, they're like, well, what do you make? I'm like, well, I make pipes, you know, and you could see they'd really like, there's this question would come into their mind, like, what, how, what, you know, why, but I'm like, hey, look, I have something that I make money on. I was able to step into this medium not knowing very much about it, and I studied like ceramics and metal and printmaking, and when I got into glass, I was able to sell instantly what I was making, and pipes were a vessel, and not only was it an outlet for me to sell my work, but I feel very honored in the fact that I make an item that people will sit around and stop what they're doing, stop the system that they're plugging themselves into, and they'll take a moment with friends, maybe even strangers, break the ice and open up and chat story about life, you know, like what happened today, like, you know, a little moment that inspired them to like maybe some history about how they feel about, you know, things that have happened in the world for them or whatever. And the fact that I'm able to make a vessel that can facilitate that, like not only an art piece, you know, but it's an art piece that's being used. There's a lot of powerful art. It sits on the walls, and, you know, and it inspires us, whatever. But this is an art piece that is actually out in the hands and the pockets and, you know, among the people that are out in the world, like having their experiences with them. It's with them all the time, you know. You have your like special pair of shoes or your favorite lighter or your like the knife that works just right for you or whatever, you know, but it's like, but for a lot of people, they put a lot of spiritual like trust and energy into that vessel. It facilitated a lot of amazing experiences for them, you know, and that for me, I've always been honored. So when someone questions like, what do you do or whatever, especially like old energy, you know, I tell them straight up, and they'll see it in your eyes, you know, that like, I create something that right now is under, it's viewed as being evil or whatever, but there's a lot happening in this world, and there's a lot of things that people have told us is right and wrong, you know, and this culture and my people, like, we're stepping up, and we believe in what we do. We believe in the community that we've created. We believe in the events that we're coming to. I worked 10 hours yesterday. Lacey was here till 3 o'clock last night because she believed in what she was creating and was going to push it all the way until it was done. And it's phenomenal. The community and the energy is right, and I know it in my heart. You know, so that where Doshworld came from, and my belief in this entire community, and I want to like spread that out to the world, not just like our people or whatever, you know, but the people that might second guess that, because it's a prohibition right now. You know, we're you know, like the medicine, marijuana, like the pipe movement, everything has been under, you know, it's an old energy that is moving out and a new energy stepping up, and we believe real strong in everything that we do, and the fact that we bring it so hard to these events, you know, I mean, all of us have our own lives going on, as everyone else does, you know, but we will fucking shut down our studio, rip our torch out, you know, all of our tools, the things that make us money every day, pack that in a car, which we can't even afford to drive where we're going. We have nowhere to stay. We're like, you know, sleeping on couches, maybe not sleeping at all, playing wiffle ball till 3 in the morning, you know, just to fucking be here and make this happen, because we believe in it really strongly. And it's, I feel really blessed to be one on that and part of this entire community. And working with all these artists and seeing like all the work that's up there, I mean, there's a lot, the industry, there's a lot of things that have pushed and pulled it, new colors. I've been working for 13 years, so I've seen color and color tubing and things come to the market. Like I said earlier, when I first started blowing glass, it was so underground that you couldn't tell anybody about it. Your studio, you couldn't tell the oxygen supplier that was bringing you fuel, like that you were actually a pipe maker, you know, because they would shun you instantly, and the art community has shunned us. And we just did a show over in Seattle in my studio at Swissberg's, and the gas conference was in Seattle, and they actually wouldn't put our event on the flyer because of the controversy behind pipes. And a lot of the people that showed up to the event with their gas flyer, they pay like $300 a year to be part of this community, you know, of what's new and what's happening in glass. They came to our event and they were fucking rocked. Like, we were doing what they wanted to see. Like, what is happening here, it's the underground. We have some forefathers ahead of us, you know, the Italians and a lot of the lamp workers that have been in the industry for like 30 years plus or whatnot, and they've set a foundation, you know, but we're completely blowing the lid off the box, you know. Like, we have an awesome foundation. Our forefathers built up, like, glass has been worked and pushed to such levels that it pushes us, but we're going, like, nothing's going to stop us, and it's only a matter of time before we'll be recognized. And we didn't have those guidelines before us that held us, you know, all these artists that came together, we were making it up in our own garages, underground, like always afraid that we were going to get, you know, caught or whatever by the man, or you know, ratted out by whoever or whatnot, you know. Like, I mean, every time I finished my work and put it in my car and drove it to where I was going to sell it, I was potentially an outlaw. And at any point, I could be pulled over and shut down, my entire life ripped out from underneath me, you know. So we've rolled with that our whole time. But that was like the fuel that kept us believing so strongly in what we're doing. There are no laws and no limitations. We're going. We're going. It's amazing. I mean, and I see now the kids that are coming up behind us. I mean, it's like, I'm getting old. I'm not even that old, but I'm slowing down. And you know, you see the kids that are coming up, they see what we're doing now, and we're just setting a precedence, and they're going to fly past us, just as we've flown past the forefathers before us, you know. And I did a demo with Mylan Townsend and Robert Mickelson were in studio, and they were dipping in a furnace for the first time. Those guys have been working on the torch for like 30 years plus, you know. And there was Buck and Darby and all of us with them, and we were like right there in the moment, assisting and communicating. We don't necessarily know these people that well, but when we all come together on the torch, we know each other. I mean, I asked Quave last night, I was like, hey bro, he's in the middle of a conversation, I was like, I'm gonna finish my piece, I need you to man the kiln, you know. And he knew exactly what I needed. I didn't have to explain anything else. You know, he's like, you want me to open the door and shut it? And I was like, yes. You know, when I finished my piece, I brought it to the kiln, and he was right there, and I knew I didn't have to worry about that at all. I had my path guided, the piece was done, I was guiding it into the kiln, and there he was to open it and like, you know. And that's the kind of communication that drives in the glass industry. And you'll see it in soft glass too, with the you know, because that needs like more people to make something happen. And we are like so in the moment, you know, and you'll have to ask someone, you don't have time to explain to them what's going on. You're like, I need you here, and you're like, yeah, I know, you know, boom, right there. And it's magic, and you can see that in all these people that work this medium, and they harness that and they hold that for any aspect of life or whatnot, you know, just being like really here in the moment.
Cool.
So do you have a favorite at all the 10?
Fucking all of them, dude. I love them all. Yeah, they're amazing. Everybody blows my mind constantly. Yeah. could tell you Matt's story about all of them.
You got anything? I think we're good.
We're good?
That was great. Thank you.
Good job.